Welcome back to Oh No They Died, a series where I count all the deaths in our favourite video games, including horror, fantasy, or any other that we may come across. My name should not give a damn to you because we don't care about that. We're only here to count some kills and deaths or whatever monsters that are coming our way. But the game we are looking at today is indeed Kingdom Hearts. Last time we covered Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, so it's only natural in the timeline that we do the first game in the series in Kingdom Hearts. Just like the last game, just like the last time, the game starts off in a dream state where we are just learning the controls. As the last time, I will be skipping out a lot of non-plot details of the game. So, without further ado, let the counting begin. The game begins on a fantasy island where we meet the main trio of the game, Sora, Kairi, and Riku. The same three characters we saw in Birth by Sleep, but as little kids. The aim to escape is to escape the island and travel the worlds afar from the island. And because Kairi is the youngest of the group, she has set out some tasks for us to find and collect so we can go on our mysterious voyage. When we arrive on day 3 after collecting fish and logs and everything, we do see a giant black orb hanging over the island. The darkness is coming, and this is taking over the world and taking into it in the depths. Along comes with this are the Heartless. Now, these Heartless are all over this island everywhere, but you do not need to kill them, so therefore they do not go on the count. However, these creatures do come in vast various amounts, just like we did with the Unverse. These ones are the base form. They do get stronger in later games and towards the end of the game too, with different variations. But the only thing to mention here is that a giant Heartless is waiting and parading in the sky, getting ready to take out the big bad and engulfing the world as it swallows whole. When the world is swallowed whole, this actually takes out 4 people on the island that are known to us. So far on this island we have met, of course, Riku, Kairi, Sora. We have heard the voice of Sora's mother, and we have had the chance to talk to Tidus, Waka, and Selphie. So the 4 characters we have met that there are nowhere else in this game are the first ones to be counted on to the kill count. After the destruction of our homeworld, we wake up in a town where lots of people reside after their worlds have been destroyed. But how many on this world of survivors do we get to see? Throughout this world, we will be seeing Donald and Goofy and their own little cutscenes and our own little cutscenes, trying to just find something or where people could be. But while we are on our own, we get to explore this town, what this town has to offer, and we're not even fighting yet. But we do end up seeing someone getting killed by a Heartless and becoming a Heartless himself. So, there goes another one for the kill count. We are on this world trying to look for our friend, but we do a few laps and find no one. But we do find a badass from Final Fantasy, and thus being Leon. He's a very friendly guy, and after a little ass kicking that we get from him, we wake up, and we find out the weapon that we've been wielding this entire time is called a Keyblade. And it tells us what's actually been going down. So far we haven't actually taken out any Heartless about ourselves, but Leon, after some explanation, takes care of one for himself, adding the first Heartless to the kill count. We eventually run into Donald and Goofy, which makes this the trio we are playing as in this game. But shortly before we run into the dynamic duo, Donald sets off an explosion, killing 2 more Heartless before joining Sora down below. Now that the trio of random people, a dog, a duck, and a boy, have come together to fight, there's some Heartless of our own. And in this fight, we take out 6 Heartless before the big one comes to say hello. This big boss fight we're about to see is similar to the Triarmor we saw back in Birth by Sleep. However, this one fights a little bit differently. So before that was like setting to feet, arms and legs, so feet, arms and torso. This one is setting to 2 separate feet, 2 separate arms, and a torso itself. However, I was going to originally add these as just one enemy, but later on in the game, you'll see further down in the kill count, they will be seeing as separate entities and destroyed, and they actually pop energy, so they will be added as 5 for now. and that won't change, it'll just be constant 5 for now. or constant 5 period. The first world of our first real adventure takes us to a land with talking rabbits and bloodthirsty queens, where the queen has got our poor little Alice as culprit number 1 for stealing her heart. So let's go fix this mess, but by doing some detective works, and that's all there is for this world. Plot wise anyway. Now let's get down to the kills. But before we do, I found out the neat little trick. So the game wants us to look for 4 pieces of evidence so you can continue with the game. But you can actually do progress a little bit quickly here and just click on the 1 box in the courtyard. You don't have to fight Heartless, just the cards, and they don't get killed. They only get knocked out. But they do get back up after several more rounds and no counting just yet. Here comes the first set of Heartless that we have to add to the count. Unlike the last kill count, we don't have the notification telling us take out the monsters, but here we are on the bizarre room. We have to light up the room to find the monster. Now I didn't, because it doesn't prompt you, I didn't know what you could do or not do, but to light these torches you have to target them, and I don't think he was able to until later on, but I counted them then, so I'm going to add them on now. Before having actually turned on these lights, there is 8 Heartless we have to fight, so we can go onto the lights and turn them on. As we're getting back to the bizarre room, the cat is waiting for us, and shortly after along comes the Trickmaster. The boss fight of the level, and 1 will be adding to the count. A boss fight that is, I would like to say, is the Heartless of the Queen. Not that the Queen is dead, just the fact that, you know, like emotions and stuff, something like that. It would seem to radiate that kind of trickery, you know what I mean? Often the Mad Hatter would be more sensible. Could be true, we don't know. We've not seen Mad Hatter in the game, so I can't really count the Mad Hatter, but that is my theory. The second world on our list of worlds to visit, which is one of gods. We have seen this world before, but there was a little boy back then, but there's no major plot going down in this world. Just a bunch of tournaments that are canon. We see these trophies in number 2, so I will mention that a lot throughout the kill count just in case people forget. So we will be coming back to this level quite a lot just to get those kills added up. Only the cups count, not the single matches, so that's good. But anyway, let's see how many we count on our first visit. And on our first visit we have our first cup with 10 rounds. So, here, as they are follows. In round 1 we take out 6 Heartless. In round 2 we take out 13. Round 3 we see to 10. Round 4 we also see to 10. Round 5 we see 9. Round 6 we also see 9. Round 7 we come across Cloud. Cloud is under Heartless and he doesn't die because he is in number 2, so he does not get added onto the count. This wasn't even on one of the trophy cups either, it's just like a normally preliminary cup, so you can actually get to the 3. The round ends with a 3-headed dog. But we don't kill the dog either, because he just keeps on coming back, and you can't really kill something that's already dead, because that's how that works out. But we fight Cloud. Cloud doesn't die. Then the dog turns up. We kill the dog. Well, we don't kill the dog. We take out the dog. We knock him out. So no kills on that behalf, apart from the ones in the primarily cup, whatever it's called. The third world. A world which only gets put into the Kingdom Hearts roster only once, and if you play the game, you'll understand why. But here are the key elements and kills that happen within that game. So far, we land after Donald and Sora have a little falling out of who is becoming the leader. When we land, we get helped by a little monkey man called Tarzan. Tarzan helps us, is the first helper in the game, which you can switch out for Donald or Goofy whenever you want to. He is the first one among the set. After a while, after some help with Tarzan swinging through the trees and sliding down vines, we run into Donald and Goofy again. But Donald isn't still happy with us from our little falling out. Throughout this adventure, we are trying to get help from the gorillas, but with its snappy, mind my pun, Clayton, we can't get any progress made. But with his struggle and need to kill innocent life with the gorillas, his torture may turn into something much, much darker. But before we get to all that darkness inside his hands, we need to help the gorillas, which are now currently being trapped by the Heartless. And to fix those, we have to run around the jungle and freeing all these little gorilla things from more gorilla Heartless. The first ones we come across are in the treetops, where we fight 6 bouncy wilds. In the treehouse, we take out 4 more. along in the bamboo thicket, we take out 6 of the Heartless monkeys. And finally, at the cliffside, we have another 5 more monkey Heartless to add to the count. The darkness around Clayton is now coming into full fruition. His mind is slipping, and the Heartless are calling. Round in the corner, though, all the gorillas have been saved. I said it was round the corner, but not just yet. Throughout the entire level, a jaguar has been chasing us down and attacking us. This is after the 4th time of this jaguar taking its claws on us and trying to eat us down. We do finally take down the beast, this being the first non-heartless, non-human to be added to the count. Returning back to the camp, we notice Jane is in a bit of a pickle. We find her again in the treetops after searching around for her, where darkness is looking as ever present. Now, these dark orbs are not exactly darkness themselves, so they won't be getting added. They're just dark pockets. There's no monsters in there. Just darkness looming to ready to take toll of Jane, or maybe Clayton, because he is slowly slipping. Frankly, though, they don't move. So Jane is, after taking out the dark orbs, Jane is freed. Then the real shadow looming over this world gets revealed. Clayton has control of the Heartless. Not knowing how to deal with this Heartless, though, he becomes one himself. And there is also a fight where we have to fight him as the boss, as well as some giant fucking invisible snake. And both of these people get added to the count. We take out Clayton first, or the snake first, whichever you do. The snake still... So what happens, as you see, you take out Clayton, you knock him out, and you kill the snake. The snake lands on Clayton, eventually killing Clayton, which is a much more nicer fate than having your neck snapped in the middle of a fucking jungle. There were other Heartless in that fight, but you don't need to kill them to fight the main boss, so therefore they won't be getting added. So that marks the end of the level after going to find the keyhole in the very nice blue butterfly place. But for now, we are heading back to Traverse Town. Personally, I'd say that Act 1 of this game is now over and done with. But we need to get ready for Act 2. And that is, the first thing we have to do is revisit Traverse Town. There's some extra things we have to pick up here, and some more story elements that have to be added too. Here's something new for this kill count, though. So, in this game, you can collect things called summoning stones. These help you summon Disney characters from other films that are not actually in this game. However, in this game, those worlds have gone and are engulfed in darkness. The characters we see in the game that we can summon, they will be added to the count, because you get to see them and obviously resurrected a little bit. But that means they are dead, because you're not actually, you're preying on their help, whatever can remain of their soul. But the first one we actually get to summon is Simba from when his world left. So there's a good old Simba boy being added onto the kill count. Like I've already stated before, I know his entire world has gone, so I could have added all the known cast from Lion King. However, we don't see them in this game, so there's no body, soul, whatever to be added. But I wasn't actually paying attention when playing this game, because I nearly missed this cutscene with Riku. So after leaving Merlin's house, after obviously resurrecting Simba and using him on our team, and meeting the book of Winnie the Pooh, we head out into the 3rd district, and, well, we run into Riku. We have a little conversation, and during that conversation, he takes out 2 Heartless on our behalf.
Just leave everything to me.
And shortly after, another gets added to the count when Riku is explaining to Sora his adventure. During the talk, Sora repays the favour of just being saved by a Heartless, and he takes out one himself. Now here's the main big lookout for this level. The boss of the second visit has revealed itself. Remember the armor that we fought before that we got added that split himself into 5 different sections? Well, he's back again, but this time a little bit of a twist. Because it comes back, we fight it like it normally does, gets a little bit pissed, and then it changes alteration into a second thing. Now his feet are his hands, and his hands are its feet. So, with that being said, that is another 5 more components of this armor that we get to kill. Another 5 pieces added. Our ship can now travel to new worlds and can now really begin the second act of the game. But when we do enter our ship again, good old Chip and Dale inform us that a second tournament is about to begin. Now, I did say this at the beginning, in every world we revisit to Olympus Coliseum, I will be mentioning why we're doing this. In the second game, you can find the 4 Tournament Cup trophies that you actually play in this game, therefore meaning they are canon to the story. This visit right now, is the first of those tournaments. I think this one being the Phil Cup, and the rounds are as follows. In the first round, we take out 7 Heartless. In round 2, we take out 10. Round 3 brings us 6 Heartless, about to say 16. Round 4 brings us another 10. Round 5 back down to 6. Round 6 itself brings us 9. Round 7 brings us 8 Heartless. Round 8 brings us 8 Heartless. And round 9 brings us another round Heartless. And thus concludes the second visit to Olympus Coliseum. We are now entering a world of magic, and the world starts off with 2 villains conversing. He hopes to find the princess of this world, and with this new magic man, well, evil guy, we know he can spawn the Heartless, so how many will he conjure up for us to add to the count? So far we know Jafar is hunting Jasmine. I know I said I was going to be spoiler free, but this is crucial because this is one of the 7 princesses of Heart we have to save. So, like I said, crucial information. The first kills we get to add to this count from this list is just after freeing Carpet from Aladdin's hideout. The Carpet takes us to the desert where Aladdin is slowly getting sucked into the sand. In this scene we kill 10 Heartless. In the cutscene that shortly follows, Al brings out a discount Robin Williams. Does a good impression of Genie, but it's not quite the same person. Take care of what I believe is to be 2 more Heartless. After a mad run around town, we finally run into Jafar, who has Jasmine in his grasp, and thus we are forced to fight some kind of mini-boss. It's a hard one to judge, but there are many findings. But here are my findings, with 6 parts and 2 centipede ends, making it a total of 8 Heartless. Originally I was only just going to add just one part after you kill it, but the more you see and the more you play when it explodes, it actually concludes that each section is again another separate Heartless, so thus concluding a more Heartless added. So this next fight I was debating. It's a statue and doesn't really have a heart. It's like a magic spell was cast on it when it comes alive, but now we use the word alive. I'm going to add this lion head as a kill, but add it to the animal section. This is another Heartless there is other Heartless in this boss, and I do believe this is like the power of darkness because they say it came alive, so I'm assuming some kind of thing infected it. Like, you'll see more of this character in number 2 that I didn't actually really dawn on until actually right now recording it. So I do believe there is an obsession. Not obsession. Is it obsession? It's not obsessed. Possession, that's the word. Possession, so we get to see that in number 2, but I didn't actually think about it until now. There is other Heartless in the fight, but again, you don't have to kill them to fight them, so only one will be added, and that would be the Possessing Ghost, or whatever it's called, from number 2. A little side note to add during the Agrabah level. This is the final mix version you are seeing, however, I'm not going to be doing all the counts and confirmed counts or whatever of the final mix, because there is 5 extra boss fights in this game. There's one on Agrabah, you fight like a sand demon. There is one in the Neverlands, which is like you fight a phantom. There is one in Hollow Bastion where I believe you fight Xemnas, because he does use lasers as swords, or laser swords or whatever, or it could just be Darth Vader. I doubt that, but you know, there was a rumor one time. The other 2 are like a bronze match and a gold match, or a silver match and gold match, where you can get 2 more Keyblades. Those are the other 2, but those are not going to get onto this count. Just a little side note, I'm mentioning it here now because Agrabah would be the first secret boss battle in the game. The next major battle in our run through the desert, we come across Jafar in the final room, the room where the key hole is hiding. But this fight ends with no deaths, just a nice normal genie, well, a nice normal Jafar, well, not normal, not nice Jafar, but Jafar being Jafar, and turning into the red Jafar, or the genie, that he does in the film. But nothing really happens, we don't kill the bird, we don't kill the genie, so nothing gets added there. After the battle though, with Jafar, we catch up to Riku and the evildoers, and we get to see how much corruption is thrown in front of him from these other bad guys. And the cutscene is as follows. I did add this, and I forgot I added this, but here's the cutscene that conspires.
And that smarmy vizier could have had him. If someone had stuck around to give him a hand.
Hey, I did my part. I brought the princess, didn't I?
Jafar was beyond help, consumed by his own hatred. One should beware of letting it burn too fiercely.
Whoa, whoa, lighten up. Huh? I'm as cool as they come, okay? By the way, kid, have we got something special for you?
Huh?
We had a deal, yes? You help us, and we grant you your wish.
Kyrie!
Go to her. Your vessel is waiting.
Just remember, this is no pleasure cruise. It won't be a pleasant voyage.
Why are you doing all this for me? What's the catch?
Catch? What's the catch? Silly boy. You're like a son to me. I only want you to be happy.
I seriously doubt that.
Believe what you wish. But lest we forget, I kept my end of the bargain.
Then you leave me no choice.
On to the next world then. This world is really a world, it isn't much of a world, it's just such of a... because the world this is from is sleeping. However, what remains of the final world is inside the belly of the space whale, known as Monstro. And inside the whale, we see Pinocchio and Geppetto. But someone else is waiting for us in the shadow. The story of this level is crucial to the story of Kingdom Hearts, like all of the story to this game. And it all revolves around the wooden puppet. We've got some shady stuff going down with Riku, and this just makes things worse, especially when we are chasing after Riku and Pinocchio. While going on a wild goose chase, we do catch up to them both. Some fighting does go down and see Riku steal away with the puppet. Now it's time to chase him down and get back the puppet. Between a conversation with Riku and Sora, we hear that Pinocchio has lost his heart to the Heartless. But I didn't know whether to believe this because he seemed fine after he lied, and his nose does do the lying growing thing. However, we still got to add something or something to this someone or something to this list. And here we have the second fight with some weird creature that I didn't add the first place or didn't even mention because we didn't kill it. However, we do find that Kyrie has been found out, but we also find out she lost her heart, so we will be adding her too. So we killed the giant weird thing that had a heart, like an acid thing, and Kyrie lost her heart too, which is quite sad. So if you lose a heart, that means they die. Simple as. I forgot to mention that when we counted Simba. But there you go.
What can I do?
You're gonna get tired of me saying this, but just to literally alliterate, if that is the right word here, this is the third visit to Olympus Coliseum, which means the second cup is about to begin. Cups are canon, we have to count them. So in this cup we have from round 1, 6 Heartless, round 2 we had 9 Heartless, round 3 brought us 5 Heartless, round 4 we fought against 10, in round 5 we fought against 6, round 6 we only fought against 3, round 7 we fought 10, and round 8 we fought 5. Now, Is there? So in round 9 of this one, there's usually 9 rounds. In the 9th round, we fight against Leon and Yuffie. They're friends of ours. We don't get to kill those. They don't go on the list, just in case people start mentioning, hey, you missed out this round, you didn't kill anything. Because you don't. You just knock them out. They don't die. Sorry. On your bike. The next one we visit is a little bit of a doozy, and will take some time to navigate. However, I don't think there'll be much to add in this level, but let's just go see what happens. PS navigation in this world does fucking suck ass, so if you do tend to play this game, you can actually skip out this level if you want to, but you do get Thunder, which is a good magical spell. But I guess I was wrong anyway, because I didn't think there was that many to kill, but as soon as you start to learn how to swim, 5 Heartless come and attack Sora, so let's go add those to the count now. On the way to King Triton's palace, we are chased by 3 Heartless with some nice thunder magic from the king, so that is another 3 more added to the count, but this time taken out by the king himself. Without having the information box popping up, it's hard to tell when the kills need to be counted. Just like now, we are trying to progress the story and we have to ride in a dolphin. But before we had to make the progress, we had to take out some Heartless. 28 to be exact. Postscript, I didn't record all the kills of the Heartless, only some of them, so you'll have to take my word on it because they were going around in a circle trying to find the dolphin, so I thought the ones I had to kill was fine, but sometimes the dolphin doesn't, so when you're on the dolphin, it wouldn't go down the path you need to take unless all the Heartless in the room were dead, hence why it concluded up to 28. Most of what happens in this world is what happens in the movie, so there isn't much to add. The only thing that is to add is that Sora does get involved. With the king on his deathbed and revenge fresh in our minds, we chase down Ursula and go head to head with the Octo Witch. After a grueling battle, the 2 eels kick the bucket and Ursula runs off and hides again. After some more running and chasing around, following dolphins and using the dolphin kick to get to new places, we hunt down the Sea Witch again and we go toe to toe. This time, we can go all out. Now that she's super ginormous gigantic mode, and no cauldron this time, we can actually fight a little bit more fairer on our sides. However, like other worlds, the big bad guys don't die when you fight the final bosses, but this time is the first of many where the bad guy actually does die. Girls and boys of every age, would you like to see something strange? Come on down and you will see in this kill count of Halloween. This world is my favourite world, and I know now the song is going to be stuck in my head for the rest of this day. However, let's see how many monsters we can actually be adding from this wonderful little gothic world. About what we have learned so far, after arriving in town, the Heartless are new, and the King of Halloween himself has an idea to get them to dance. So far, the Heartless are not threatening to the town, but it's only a matter of time before they begin to attack. After witnessing a malfunction with Dr. Finkelstein creating the heart of the dancing Heartless, they have become agitated and are now ready to go down fighting. As soon as we head back into the plaza, we do take out 18 Heartless. Now, this is something I will only be doing once. These Heartless are not mandatory to kill. However, a cutscene did play just before we started fighting the Heartless, alerting us to the fact that the Heartless are moving and are now beginning to attack. Sora does say we'll deal with them and then we can move on. So far, as this will be the only one time doing it, I will not be adding this for the rest of this kill count or future kill counts. I will not be adding any more non-mandatory kills, just this one seemed a bit more important to add considering you do go out because Mayor comes in and everything that kicks off. So that is 18 more added to the count in the first visit of Halloween Town. Well, there's only one visit, but still. Well, I'm already regretting my decision of doing this kill count now as we move from Halloween Town. As we move on to look for Sally, to look for the Forget-Me-Not, we come across a little graveyard. We can't investigate the tiny graveyard until all the Heartless are vanquished in the area, which concluded to be 9 Heartless. This world is going to be adding the most kills to the count, because while finding the mayor, we come back to the small graveyard again. We couldn't progress until 8 Heartless in the room have died. The small graveyard where we've taken out a few Heartless before is becoming quite popular, and this time we are chasing after the little tykes who stole a heart from the doctor. but as with one stated, we cannot leave this graveyard till all the Heartless are gone. And on the third visit this time to the graveyard, we killed 10 Heartless already. That is many Heartless from one room, just because you can't progress until the Heartless are dead. So many to count. Now those may have only been for the tiny graveyard, but to still continue chasing after the kids, we have to clear out an entire room before going over the mound. In this bigger area, I most likely miscounted 33 Heartless in this big area. Like I said, there's only 33 because when you've got your teammates killing some as well, and you're like going to corner, I don't know which ones disappeared and which ones you killed. So the 33 sounds like a safe bet to go for. This world just loves throwing Heartless at me while trying to navigate the world, because chasing these little shits forces us to run into more Heartless. 4 more, to be exact. After a long chase, we finally catch up to the trio, the little hooligans, but they were only kids. I know for a fact Disney won't be killing kids anytime soon. Thanks to Shock for being a big-mouthed little witch, we know what to look for when trying to confront Oogie Boogie. And this is yet another fight. That's all you do in this world, fight, fight, fight. During this first fight with the big bag of bugs, we ended up taking out 6 Heartless. Oogie may have turned into bugs here, but he does fuse himself with the building, so yet he is not really dead. But for those 6 Heartless that we killed, these are during the fight. They're not always going to be 6, there could be more sometimes, depending on how well you defeat Oogie Boogie, or how badly you fail. There could be less, there could be more, it just depends on what difficulty you're playing on as well, and all that stuff, so it varies, but on my playthrough, on this count, we caught 6. When the building re-emerges as a hybrid of Oogie Boogie and the mansion itself, the dark orbs that are surrounding the creature are the ones that's holding it together. Destroying these orbs ends up killing Oogie Boogie once and for all for this game. On the way to the next level, where we will eventually meet up with Peter Pan again, Captain Hook intercepts us during our space travel to the world, where we meet back up with Riku and Kairi in a Heartless body form. Now trapped on the ship, where will the Heartless be hiding for them to be taken out? This world is very confusing to navigate, lots of doors and no sense of direction, but after this labyrinth of doors and whatnot, we end up in the captain's cabin, where we come face to face with ourselves. During this fight, the shadow may be able to split into multiples, however, they are still part of the same being, so there's nothing much more to add apart from the just one shadow we fight. We'll leave the captain's cabin haunted by Sora's shadow, and then run into the hero of the story, Captain Hook. With a little threat from Hook, we make a risky decision and fly. We make a risky decision, jump into the ocean, and then learn how to fly, to be then thrown down with the Heartless, taking out 11 while able to fly along with them. Back on the landing, and the captain has been awoken from his ship. We're just more fighting again, just levels back to back now. It's annoying, it does get annoying, but with this fight, again it's important so I'm mentioning it, but we do fight Captain Hook, our last Heartless battle, but with no deaths to mention here. And here I thought we are done with this level, but no, we totally forgot about sealing the keyhole. We should wrap the keyhole up, nothing really else happens in this world. Apart from moving on to Olympus Coliseum again after this, for our 3rd visit. Again, I have mentioned this many times before, and I'll mention it again. The trophies are canon in the game, therefore I will have to add them. On this round, however, there's not many to go for. So from round 1, we fight 8 Heartless. On round 2, we fight 7. On round 3, we kill 5. Round 4, we kill 7. On round 5, we come face to face with Cloud, and we don't kill Cloud, it's not a Heartless, so it doesn't get added. On round 6, we come across a rare truffle, which only gets killed if you do aerial combos. If you were to strike it once, it won't die, it'll just fade away, so it doesn't really get killed. On the 7th round, we kill 7 Heartless, and the final round, on round 8, we kill 5. And then you take out Hercules, but Hercules doesn't die again, so we don't really need to do anything there. But here we are again, we can move back again, and we can move back to Traverse Town for that 3rd visit of the game. We've collected some of our things in our travels, and now it's heading to Traverse Town, World of Dead Homes. Will there be more Heartless waiting for us? or we're just coming back to just we've had a few things on our way. No, let's just find out. While we're back, there's a few things we need to do to run a check on as well. For one of their things we have to do is upgrading the ship so we can go to the third act of the game. And also do a second resurrecting of a lost soul. Drop a lost soul in a summoning crystal. And a quick recap of all the dogs that we have to go visit that we found on the world. Also, going to the Sum of the Friend book in a book, but that's just a quick recap to see what happens. But from the Summoning Stone, the gems, we do find Dumbo again. His heart was lost when his world fell. So I will be adding him to the list as of now, because again, considering he had to die for us to summon him. So there goes our big-eared boy, Mr. Dumbo, to the list. We've only just landed in this world, and Sora is having memories. Now, I think these memories belong to Ventus, but anyway, we do run into Beast having a little spat with Riku. So when we join in, Riku steals the fucking key from our graph. So great. Now we are defenseless. The hardest part of this level is walking around with a wooden sword. We can't use it to kill the Heartless, however magic is a great friend. Now, so how many will be added to the count with this special fighting? Well, so far we can add one defender onto that list, seeing as he was in the way of a button we had to press underneath the water navigation we were being with Beast. Out of the maze structure and under the water, we have had to head back to the main gates, where 3 darkness creatures are waiting for us. Again, we have to kill these 3, so we can actually head back. I think these things are called Dark Balls. In this next scene, we see a bunch of princesses in the same area. Now, an old rule from the first kill count comes into play. Just like with Kairi, the other princess we see here have lost their hearts. So that's another 6 more kills, in quotation marks, we need to add to the count. Those being Aurora, we've already seen being added onto the count before when her heart got taken away. We restored it, but it's gone again because of Maleficent. We've also added Cinderella to that list. We saw her in the previous game as well, but she was alive. Alice, previously in the game, but she got taken away. We've already added Kairi. Jasmine, who got taken away as well by Jafar, well, by Maleficent as well, so that's 5. And then the other person is Belle for Beauty and the Beast. Oh, Snow White. I forgot I had Kairi. So yeah, they're the new princesses. They're the 7 princesses of all 7 in the game. Now all gone. Obviously adding 6 more because we added Kairi before. I know this kill count is getting very confusing because a lot is happening at once. I'm like saying, for example, oh, we landed on this island and then didn't mention Riku, and Riku came along with Soul the Keyblade, but I didn't mention that Goofy and Donald went with him. I forgot to mention that. And there's also a lot of things in the in the game as well. It's like story related stuff that's like, because if I went into much detail like James and Janice did, I'd be here for a lot longer than what I want to be. Or because it's like it's a 30-hour game broken down into an hour, 2-hour video. It's a lot to put into, especially when there's a lot of kills to count as well. Anyway, we'll run back into Riku again with all the friends he has stolen from us. Now this is something we don't actually see on screen, but instead Beast lunges for a Heartless, and well, Beast is ruthless, so we know the fact that the shadow he chased after will not be surviving for long. Yet another fight breaks out after he just dealt with himself, but during this fight we get a Keyblade back, and Riku gives up and runs away. But there's more of where that came from. As for now, we have to get this Heartless-shaped door opened up. And the first thing to do is head into libraries. I hate books, but nothing special happens in this little section right about now, but things are only starting to really kick off. So for the next task of Hollow Bastion, we have to head higher up the building and come face to face with a witch. While scaling the mountainous building, we have to kill 4 flying Heartless. These are known as the Wyvern. As the 4 flying Heartless, we end up on a lift and kill 3 more. Continuing the climb to the two blocks that raise up higher and higher and closer to the witch. During the ascent, we come across another 11 Heartless. Okay, now this is when we actually didn't know what happened here. So when you're in Hollow Bastion, there's like these 2 blocks. You press 2 switches on either side of these blocks and they raise higher and lower. I had to go round to deal with it, but I didn't know you could actually just fly across. Now you have the glide ability from Neverland, which is quite pretty cool. But when we fly around to the other side, There's 4 more wyvern waiting for us in wake, but they're not hard to they are hard to take care of, because if you fall down, you're going to go climb the back up again. So lightning is a very, very good magic skill here, and with that, you can take out these 4 wyvern. With more majestic building jumping, we end back on the other side, taking out another 5 more Heartless before we can actually continue with the proper story, instead of just finding more Heartless in the same 2 areas. We finally catch up to the Dragon Lady. We have won the first fight with ease, but however, the true power of this witch is about to be unleashed. We have seen this dragon and Maleficent obviously before in the last kill count with Birth by Sleep. We didn't kill her back then, but now as Mickey, now as Riku, as a Sora, not Mickey or Riku, as Sora, Donald and Goofy, we actually do kill the witch, thus adding another human added to the kill count. On to the next room, which was opened up by killing Mel. We find Kairi once more, but what transpires, Riku comes in, now being possessed by Ansem. And it becomes a showdown between Sora and Riku, but no deaths here today. Sora being the victorious one of this fight. But from this ending, Sora takes matters into his own hand, and with then takes his own life, or his own heart away from himself, to go save Kairi, adding Sora to the kill count list. However, the Heartless of Sora may have just created a future playable character. More on that in a future kill count next year. His life as the Heartless is very short-lived, because Kairi comes and saves the day to bring him back to his usual self. After Sora is resurrected, Beast comes back and jumps into the fray, being surrounded by 6 Heartless. But I'm not going to add any of them this time. We don't see any of them die, but they just fade away. Like, you see them in one scene, Goofy and Donald was about to go down fighting, and then they just disappear. So I'm sorry, I guess. But that does force us back going into Traverse Town. Back to the OG town. We can do a few things around here, I think, but the more important thing to note is that we have a life to revive. The life we obtained after killing the dragon. This little bundle of joy being Mushu. Mushu is in Kingdom Hearts 2 for the first time as a playable, well, not as a playable character, but is in his world is there. It was Lost to Darkness beforehand, but now because the dragon is back, we can actually add it to the list. And all the things that happen in this world is finding a new gummy to go to Hollow Bastion and coming to see Kairi again. And all but confirming her love to us, and Sora confirming his love to her. Okay, Hollow Bastion again. Back in the world of fucking the Demise or wherever I'm recording to, I don't even know anymore. Back to the penultimate level again. In the last visit, and not long ago, we took out a lot of Heartless, but now they are stronger, and we may still struggle with a sense of direction. So let's just try our best on this second visit, but not long left to go now. Well, we do have a lot to climb back up to the castle, and then the first hiccup on this climb is another 9 Heartless, stopping us from using the lifts. On the traversing platform that travels us from the right to the left, on this second visit we fight 5 Heartless instead of 3 from the previous round. From here on out, after meeting up with the princesses who are now awake from their slumber, everything we see will be new. Nothing else will be added from the castle itself, but the keyhole that has now opened has lots of new bad guys for us to take out. From inside the darkness keyhole, we come face to face with a powerful foe and lots of enemies. We're going to be a lot of I'm just trying to reread what I've put. I've fucking made no sense of it, but there's a lot of Heartless in this area. Not in this area, but soon to be in the next area. There's a lot of powerful foes. We are currently on 496 kills, and we're only halfway through how many enemies we have to count. But the big first thing that gets added onto this in this new keyhole, the boss to seal it all off, would be the King Behemoth. It's just called a Behemoth or Behemoth in the book. But this one's like the leader, like the hardest one to fight, basically. But the Behemoth still gets added to the count anyway. Now that the beast within the keyhole has vanquished and the keyhole has been sealed, we can now meet up with our friends again. But how they end up in Hollow Bash anyway? Well, Sid explains all that. Well, enough of that now. Now the last keyhole of the game is closed, there is only one more thing left to do. And that is to say goodbye once and for all to Ansem, who is currently possessing Riku. I'm not adding Riku to the count, because he's not actually dead, just currently sharing a body with a very sick and twisted man. But before we actually continue on to that, we've got one final visit of Olympus Coliseum. This is the fourth and final trophy that's in the game, this one being the biggest cup in the game, so there's a big list to read. And here it states. In round 1 we take out 10 Heartless. In round 2 we take out 7. In round 3 we take 8. Round 4 we take out 9. In round 5 and 6 there's no Heartless to kill. Maybe a Red Truffle and maybe Cloud or like Yuffie I think it is. In round 7 Heartless. In round 8 there is 6 Heartless. In round 9 there is 6 Heartless, and in round 10 just the 1 Heartless. Now in this 1 Heartless here, this is as far as you're going to see on the screen, so you're only seeing like the best versus fights on the screen, so I'm going to read off the rest of the Heartless we fight, because this took a long time to even fight this second Behemoth already. So, and I was under-leveled, or not under-leveled, I wouldn't have the right equipment, I would try and go for achievement, and so I've not changed weapon yet. But I'm not going to be recording any other fighting in this cup after this fight. But in round 11 there were 9 Heartless. In round 12 you'd fight... round 11 you'd fight 9. Round 12 you'd fight 9. In round 13 you fight 5. Round 14 brings on 5. Round 15 is 8. Round 16 brings 7. Round 17 is 9. Round 18 is 9. Round 19 is 5. Round 20 is a human boss and you don't kill them. Round 21 brings 7 Heartless. Round 22 brings 6. Round 23 brings on 7. Round 24 brings 21. Round 25 brings 5. Round 26 brings 7. Round 27 brings 7. Round 28 brings 7. Round 29 brings 7. Round 30 is a boss fight again with a human that can't be killed. Round 31 is 5 Heartless. Round 32 is 7 Heartless. Round 33 is 6 Heartless. Round 34 is 21 Heartless. Round 5 brings 5. Round 36 brings 5. Round 37 also brings 5. Round 38 only 3. Round 39 brings 5. Round 41 brings 9. Round 42 brings 9. Round 43 brings 4. Round 45 brings 26. Round 46 brings 2. Round 47 brings 19. And round 48 brings 29. The final 2 rounds... Well, there's another one I missed in there, which you fight Hades. And the final round in round 49... is another Titan, a Rock Titan. Not a Heartless, but I will add him to the count anyway, because I don't know if you kill it or not, but he just dies there, so for now I will add him, that one, to the count. So like I said, you didn't see all of it. I would have liked to do that, but it would have taken a lot longer. I don't want to release a 5-hour video of this. But hey ho, and thanks to the online as well, because a lot of question marks in there, that would have been a lot of it, and that would have been very, very annoying to use. But hey, I have a right to use Bing, and I will use Bing to any way that I can. So, let's get back on to the main count in the end of the world, the final level. It's the final level in the game, and there may be just 1 or 2 Heartless left, but how many more do we get to add to the count before the credits roll? Hey, do you guys remember the tornadoes we ran back into the Birth by Sleep? Well, now there's falling darkness orbs, and there be monsters inside them, which means there's no escape until the monsters are dead. So here we go again. In the first orb we kill about 4 invisible Heartless. The second orb that lands on our heads shows us an hourglass Heartless, but how many? Well, there was 3 of them, so only 3 get added to the list from this orb. Within the third orb that comes falling on our heads is another behemoth waiting inside. This is the third behemoth we've had to fight within the space of like 10 minutes. Well, not 10 minutes, but like you fought one to see the keyhole, the one in the tournament, there's one here. Which is... it's not a hard thing to fight. They're just like so they're boring to fight, if that makes sense. Just jump on its back, whack its horn, and you can get away with it scot-free. But hey, that's a behemoth added to another behemoth added to the kill count just from this one orb. We are fairly ready to find ourselves in front of a giant Heartless sign, and there is monsters in our way. So that only means more monsters have to be added to the count. I counted roughly 4 more invisible Heartless in this corridor. After that fight was over, it opened up a side room to where a machine is hooked up. I think we saw this machine in the previous game, and I do believe we see it again in the future, but I can't go into detail about it because I can't remember what it was for. But after reading a note tied to the machine, 2 more Heartless come out to play, those 2 Heartless being 2 more invisible Heartless, but hey, 2 more added to the count at least. Only 2 more fights to go until we can call it a wrap for the second kill count. For the first of those giant fights is being a giant statue, which took a long time. I'm trying to go for a playthrough here of trying not to die, and I died a few times trying to fight this. A little side note for everyone here, actually, I've been doing the kill count on beginner just to make this easier on myself while also getting an achievement. To not use a continue, like I've just mentioned, throughout the game. You also may have noticed that I haven't changed my weapons throughout this kill count too. That's for another achievement. I'm just trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But during this fight though, we do get to kill that giant statue from Fantasia. Do you remember when I said that the statue boy was the second to last boss? Yeah, I forgot about the giant room with all the Heartless that needed to be killed before you can actually progress to the final boss. This fight is a long one. And you'll be seeing on screen is just one sped up mash fight with everything in this room. There was a staggering 43 Heartless in this horrid green room. And I do love this game, I really, really do. But is this good game design? Because all you fight in this room is one behemoth, shocker, again. But on repeat, there's an invisible, there's dark orbs, there's the angel hourglass things. It's the same 4 enemies on repeat over and over again for the last hour, like the last hour of this game. I won't hate on this game, I love this game to bits, but God, I'm glad they don't do that in the future games. It's constantly fighting all these enemies, just like, hey, let's fight, want to make it tough. Not a good way of doing it. There were more Heartless to fight as well, like there were these towers of pillars. I totally ignored those because you could just skip right past them. I was in a rush, like literally this recording now about this was like I try and do this over a span of month so it doesn't actually tire me out, and I've tried to rush it as much as I can last night. I spent like 5 hours, maybe 6, literally doing from Hollow Bastion's Princess part all the way to the end of the game, and I'm just like, I just want to beat the game. I want to do the kill count. Why is there so many Heartless, and why are they so... I know why they were so tough, I get that, I was doing the standard key. But there were just so many just constantly at me. And I'm like... I'm trying to expand because there's like a fucking huge fight scene that's trying to get crunched down into 2 minutes. It's not going to happen. But I will be playing it out for the rest of it, so there will be a long pause. It's just like... Could the game have been better if they didn't add all this fighting? Like, yeah, fight a second behemoth, I get it. Fight a horde of Heartless, that's like the flightless one, I mean the invisible ones. Yeah, fight those. Fight the dark orbs. Fight the angels, just don't put them on repeat until you've fought enough. That's a bit too far-fetched. And the thing is, this is what pissed me off the most about it. I was fighting the angels, and because I was close to the entry of the room, I left by accident while fighting. And I went back in and you had to start the fight from the beginning. It's like, why? I killed the behemoth. I killed the invisibles. Why do I have to fight it all over again? So yeah, it kind of tired me out, but again, I can say that it's done now. So 43 added in this one room, by the way, just to open up a door. 43, it's big. Tiring and big.
All words begin in darkness. And also in. The heart is no different. Darkness runs with it. It grows, consumes it. Such is its nature. In the end, every heart returns to the darkness whence it came. You see, darkness is the heart's true essence.
That's not true. The heart may be, and sometimes it may be within. But I've learned the deep times of light never goes out.
So you have come this far, and still you understand nothing. Every light must fade. Every heart returns to darkness.
So how I've been doing this is every time I've recorded kills and added up the kills, I've been taking out the section and like recording it on voice and then cutting it out to match the audio. For this one, because it's the final boss fight, I thought it was like, oh, just fight an answer and then I'm done. But there is a big list of recording that I put all together, like from like the start when you fight Ansem on Destiny Islands all the way up into this big ship at the end. So this next section of reading is all just going to be from one script to the very last line where it's all been down and done. So might be a long time reading this, and again the boss fight may be rushed. I do apologise if you can't see that very well, but you can get the gist of what's going off anyway. So the last thing to get added to this count is Ansem himself. Now, he appeared to be humanoid in this game, however that symbol on his chest does mean that he is indeed a Heartless. So unlike the statue, he is going to that Heartless tally. We may have had somewhat of an easy time doing round 1 against Ansem, but we didn't kill him. Stage 2 of the fight gave us an old friend, that we haven't seen or fought since the beginning of the game, adding another dark side to the count. Round 3 we go back to fighting Ansem, but this time I don't have the aid of Donald or Goofy. Never Donald and Goofy. I never have the aid of Donald and Goofy anyway, because during this playthrough they've always died, and I'm even playing on beginner at that point. They just don't do anything helpful. Even after round 3 is over, Ansem is still not dead. Now this is where I got a bit pissed off. I'm trying to beat the game without having to use a continue, but I died during this round 4 fight with Ansem, and I was not going to go through fighting the other shit again. So I'm taking the L on that achievement for now, and come back to it later. After round 4 with Ansem is over, we end up in the darkened room filled with more Heartless. All I see is yellow eyes, and at this point my motivation is out the window. So I'm just going to add a random bunch of numbers to what feels right in that moment. So in this first room, when we get Goofy back, there is 20 shadows. And that's it. I'm just going to say write out 20 and just add them as a random thing. There could be more, there could be less, but if anything has been missed, it kind of pans to it. Stage 6 quickly comes and goes, taking out what appears to be tentacle shooting things. And you know what? I'm going to add them on this list as they died. They gave me experience, so fuck. 8 of them. Whatever, they were added to the count under the other, because I have no idea what they were. Stage 7. Stage 7 of this final boss fight. I wouldn't be bothered, but there's not been a save point in so fucking long, and we're getting late at night when I'm recording this part. And this actually had a deadline, and that was supposed to be yesterday, but I guess that's not going to happen. And it's tough to try and do all this in one night, but here we are back in limbo again with more shadows, because I'm tired of this point, and of the point of the kill count, and I just want it to be over. Whatever Heartless are in the room, I'm leaving at 20, and having done with it at that, because that doesn't know when to end, and it's frankly making me fall out with the game. I really don't want that. Stage 8 now, when we have a giant ship's head to finish. I know I'm giving this game a lot of shit right now. When you think enough is enough, then it's enough. But we still got to keep on fighting till this count is done. But we just killed the head, and another other is added to the kill count. Stage 9, we have caught back up with Donald in another darkness room, and I believe, from what I can see, is only invisible. It makes it hard to count in these dark rooms, especially with the Heartless that are super speedy. All you can see is their eyes. Stage 10 and the final boss fight in some weird slime creature acting as a heart, which awakens the real final boss fight. That weird slime thing is going to go down as another other because I didn't know what it was, and I don't know if it needed to be killed. It needed to be killed, so I guess it wasn't other, but I don't know what it was. I think we did it after hours and hours of doing this final section, which wouldn't have been that bad, but I died earlier and brute force seemed to work now. But now a final cutscene plays, and I will not skip it, but for the final count, we'll not skip it, so that'll play out, and then we'll come back at the end of the count. So Ansem got added to the count. The gates are closed off the game. The final the chapter is done. No, Ansem wasn't actually the final added thing to the list. There was 2 more after Mickey Mouse closed the door to darkness. And there you go. But that's all the Heartless counted. All the others, all the animals, all the humans or humanoid-ish creatures, all added together. So in total, there was 18 humans that died in this game. There was 934 Heartless that died in this game. 6 animals and 11 others. 10 of those being from the final boss fight. The other one just being a random thing in the game somewhere. So in total, that leads a staggering 969 Heartless. Not as many kills as they were in Birth by Sleep, which means in Birth by Sleep they were more paced out than this one, because like in this one final level alone, there was 400 Heartless in this last section of the game. Well, apart from the Olympus Coliseum as well, that literally added a lot of it to it. Before we did Olympus Coliseum, there was like 400 Heartless in there. Or in the game before that, and after that there was just 400 more just randomly added on. But still, Birth by Sleep still currently holds this channel's kill count victor. We know that's going to get shattered, because I know in Kingdom Hearts 2 there's definitely 1,000 Heartless in one section anyway. Thankfully it puts a kill on the screen, so I don't have to count them all. But I know there's 1,000 there. Just crazy. But yeah, that's another kill count done. This video is going to be a pain in the ass to take. I do apologise if this did not come out on the 29th of June, because 29th of June is my anniversary day of YouTube. I did do a live stream yesterday. I did 2. I was going to try and pan up to 4 hours of the game on Amore. I've only managed to do 3. I may go do a 4th real quick before but I want to get this video sorted first, so I'm going to leave that as 3 hours instead of 4, which is quite sad that another hour's coming out anyway next week. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the kill count this time around. Join us again around the New Year section, or New Year in 2023, probably the first week or something like that. As soon as it gets done. Anyway, I'm going to start it around November time, I think. No, October time. I'm going to start it in October. Maybe. And try and get the next one. The next one is going to be a very short one. I know it's going to be. I know what I'm going to do. It's going to be the storyline of Kingdom Hearts still, and the next one in storyline would be Chain of Memories. I'll plan out the rules in the video, so I don't have to explain it all now. But as for now, though, the kill count is done. Everything's been added. We saw the ending of Kingdom Hearts again. We saw the annoyance of the game, which it's not that bad looking back at it now, but it's just super annoying when you're trying to count kills and you're trying to get it done late at night. It's like, just get it over with, you know? I have things to do. Because of being early, it's been a lot harder to actually focus on doing this. So I think that's what was stressing me out about it more, but I do love the game. I cannot not fault it. And I'm hoping to actually fully finish off that achievement that I know it can do now, because I know it can like change equipment. So it makes it 10 times easier to kick his ass. So I'm ready for it. But yes, I hope you enjoyed the kill count of Kingdom Hearts. Another coming soon video will be happening as well at the end of the year. Now, literally all the videos in that coming soon is nearly here, which is quite nice. 2 videos are on there that we've done that are not being announced, which is quite cool. But as for now, though, that is all there is going to be for today. And as always, this is Rixxalight signing out. And I shall see you next year on the 8th year anniversary of my YouTube career.